Hey there! If you're a dog owner in Renton, you know the goal is to get out and enjoy this amazing city with your best friend. So this guide is all about finding the right professional to help you and your dog do exactly that. Just picture it for a second. A really nice, calm walk along the Cedar River Trail. Your dog isn't pulling your arm off or lunging at every person who goes by. It's just you two enjoying the day. A great trainer can absolutely help make that happen. The best way to think about this whole process is to treat it like you're hiring someone for a really important job. Because, well, you are. You have a specific goal in mind, and you need to find the right person with the right skill set to get you there. So, we're going to break it down into 5 clear steps. First, we'll figure out what you actually need. Then, we'll look at what makes a trainer great. After that, we'll talk about finding the perfect match, what to expect for the budget, and finally, how to take all that training out into the real world, right here in Renton. All right, so first things first. Before you can even start looking for a trainer, you need a really clear idea of what you want to accomplish. What exactly are you hiring them to do? And your goals are probably really specific to living here, right? Maybe you dream of having a dog who can walk politely past all the crowds and geese down at Jean Coulon Park. Or maybe the noise from the airport makes your dog super anxious. It could be something at home too, like wanting your dog to stop jumping all over guests in your Kennydale house, or being able to handle a trip to the landing without getting totally overwhelmed. The more specific you can be, the better. Okay, so once you know what you're looking for, you need to know how to spot a good candidate. This is kind of like looking at their resume. You're checking out their philosophy, their education, and their credentials to see if they have what it takes. Now, the method that all the modern science points to as the most effective and humane is positive reinforcement. And this isn't just about handing out cookies 24/7. It's about rewarding the behavior you want to see more of. This approach builds an incredible bond of trust with your dog, and it makes the learning stick for the long haul. So what about all those letters you see after a trainer's name? Well, think of them like professional degrees. A certification like CPD-TK or KPA-CTP means they've passed some really rigorous exams on how dogs learn and ethical training practices, perfect for general manners. But if you're dealing with bigger issues like serious fear or aggression, a certification like IABC-CDBC tells you they have a much deeper, specialized expertise in behavior. And this is absolutely crucial. Your dog's well-being and your relationship have to come first. Any trainer who even suggests using fear, pain, or intimidation tactics is using outdated methods that can cause real harm. The modern, science-backed approach isn't just kinder, it's way more effective at building a confident, happy, and well-behaved dog. All right, you've looked through the resumes, you know what to look for, now it's time for the interview phase. This is where you figure out which type of program fits your goals and which trainer is the right personality match for you and your dog. Generally, you're going to have 2 main options. Group classes are awesome for teaching your dog to focus on you when other dogs and people are around, which is, a pretty essential skill for living in a city. Private lessons, on the other hand, are completely tailored to you and are perfect for tackling those issues that happen at home, like barking out the window or surfing the counters for snacks. Your process for finding that perfect fit is actually pretty simple. First, do your homework online and make a short list of trainers who have those credentials we talked about. Then, set up a quick phone call. Most trainers will offer a free consultation. And finally, make sure you go into that call ready with some key questions.
So, what should you be asking? Well, besides their philosophy and certifications, you'll want to know if they'll create a plan specifically for your dog. Ask them how you'll both track progress and, of course, get the full picture on the financial commitment. It's always best to get total clarity on fees and cancellation policies right from the start.
Okay, let's talk about the money part of this. Hiring a professional is an investment in your dog and your life together, so it's really helpful to know what the typical costs look like here in the Renton area. Here in Renton and across King County, you can expect a 6-week puppy class to run you a few $100s. A package of private lessons at your home will be a bigger investment, and then you have intensive board and train programs, which are definitely at the highest end of the cost spectrum. And you can really see the difference in investment here. A puppy class is often the most affordable way to get started. A single private lesson gives you very targeted help for a specific price. And a board and train? Well, that's a major financial commitment for some really intensive work. Your budget and your goals are really what will guide you to the right choice. Okay, so you've hired your trainer and you've both put in the work. Now it's time for the most important part,
applying all those new skills out where it really counts. And that means knowing the local rules and the best spots to practice.
Here's a number every dog owner in Renton needs to remember: 8 feet. That is the maximum leash length allowed in public places here, from parks to city trails. It's a simple rule, but it's a big one for being a considerate neighbor. And yeah, that means those long, retractable leashes need to stay at home for public walks. And beyond that 8-foot leash law, there are a few other things to keep in mind. Washington state law requires a rabies vaccination for all dogs. Also, constant barking can actually be considered a noise nuisance, so that's something to work on. And while Renton itself doesn't require a dog license, if you happen to live in an unincorporated part of King County, you will need to get one.
So, where can you take your dog to practice everything you've learned? Well, the Renton Dog Park at Cedar River is the perfect, safe, fenced-in spot to work on off-leash skills like coming when called. Jean Coulon Park is basically a masterclass in handling distractions, and of course, the Cedar River Trail is your go-to for perfecting that beautiful loose leash walk.
This really brings us back to where we started. Just take a second and think about it. Out of all the things we've talked about, what's the one skill that would make the biggest positive change in your life with your dog right here in Renton? Because that's really what this is all for. Good training isn't about having a robot dog, it's about clear communication and building a real partnership. A well-trained dog is a joy to be around, a great neighbor to everyone, and the absolute best companion for all the adventures Renton has to offer. Finding the right person is that crucial first step. And all the work you put in is going to pay off in so many ways, with a happier, more confident dog and a much less stressed you. Now you're ready for anything. Happy training.